Take a close look at this official United States map from 1943. To any ordinary citizen or any foreign spy looking at it during World War II, this specific region in the hills of Tennessee looked like nothing. Just miles of empty forest, dirt roads, and quiet valleys. But the map was lying to you. Right inside that empty blank space stood a fully functioning, state-of-the-art American city. It had 75,000 residents. It had built-in skyscrapers, crowded movie theaters, schools, and some of the largest factories on the face of the earth. It consumed more electricity than New York City, yet legally, geographically, and officially, it did not exist. Welcome to Oak Ridge, the city the U.S. government literally erased from existence. Today, we are uncovering how they pulled off the biggest vanishing act in human history under the nose of the entire world, and the terrifying reason why they had to do it. To understand how you hide a massive population, you have to understand the sheer panic of 1942. The United States had just entered World War II, and intelligence reports brought back a chilling reality. Nazi Germany was already working on a weapon of mass destruction, a weapon that could end civilization. The U.S. launched the Manhattan Project, a desperate top-secret race to build the world's first atomic bomb, but there was a massive catch. To build this weapon, scientists needed an industrial operation of a scale the world had never seen. They needed thousands of acres of land, millions of tons of heavy machinery, and an army of 75,000 workers. Think about the logistical nightmare. How do you buy up 60,000 acres of private land overnight? How do you funnel thousands of tons of steel and concrete into one valley without foreign spies taking notice? If Hitler or Japan found out where the United States was concentrating its atomic research, a single enemy bomber could wipe out the entire project in seconds. The government's solution was radical. They didn't just build a secret laboratory, they built an entire secret civilization. They seized the land, forced the local farmers out at gunpoint, threw up massive barbed wire perimeters, and placed armed military guards at every entrance. And to finalize the illusion, the government ordered every cartographer in the country to keep the entire zone completely blank. If you didn't have a top-secret security clearance, Oak Ridge was invisible. But keeping a city hidden from the outside world is only half the battle. How do you keep the secret safe from the 75,000 people living inside the city? The military came up with a brilliant psychological blindfold. The best way to keep a secret from your workers is to make sure they have no idea what they are actually doing. The government recruited thousands of young men and women from rural areas across America, offering high wages and excellent housing. But when they arrived at Oak Ridge, they entered a psychological experiment. A young woman would sit in front of a giant control panel for 8 hours a day, turning a specific dial whenever a red light flashed. If she asked her supervisor, "What does this dial do?" the answer was always the same: "Do your job and don't ask questions." The rules of Oak Ridge were absolute. Billboards lined every street repeating the same message: "What you see here, what you do here, what you hear here, let it stay here." Talking about your daily tasks with your friends, your roommates, or even your spouse was a federal crime. And the military wasn't joking around. They planted hundreds of undercover federal agents disguised as ordinary grocery store clerks, janitors, and factory workers. Imagine sitting at a local diner, having a casual conversation with a coworker, and saying, "Hey, I wonder what we're actually building in that big plant down the road." The person sitting next to you could be an agent. By nightfall, you would be pulled out of your bed, fired on the spot, escorted by armed guards to the train station, and blacklisted forever. Because of this absolute climate of fear, 75,000 citizens worked around the clock in complete silence, blindly pushing buttons for a project they couldn't even name. For nearly 3 years, the blindfold held, until August 6, 1945. On that morning, a single American B-29 bomber dropped the first atomic weapon on the city of Hiroshima, instantly altering the course of human history. Back in Tennessee, inside the Hidden Valley, the city's loudspeakers suddenly roared to life. President Harry Truman's voice echoed across the streets and into the factories, announcing to the world that America had harnessed the basic power of the universe. The workers of Oak Ridge stood frozen. They looked at the newspapers. They listened to the radio. And for the very first time in 3 long years, the realization hit them like a tidal wave. The young women turning the dials, the janitors cleaning the floors, the scientists mixing the chemicals. They didn't just find out about the atomic bomb from the news like the rest of the world. They looked at each other and realized, we built that. The raw materials inside that bomb, the uranium-235 that fueled the explosion, had been processed right under their feet in the very factories they operated every single day. The atmosphere in the secret city became a bizarre, overwhelming mix of celebration for ending the war and absolute terror at the apocalyptic power they had blindly helped unleash. But pulling off a secret this massive leaves a dark trail of casualties. To keep Oak Ridge completely invisible, the U.S. government had to cross lines that would shock the public if they came to light today. First, there was the human cost. Many of the workers were handling highly radioactive and toxic materials on a daily basis. But because giving them full radiation suits or specialized medical care would instantly give away the secret of what they were building, the military kept safety protocols to a bare minimum. Thousands of workers suffered unexplained illnesses and long-term health complications, completely unaware that their own workplace was slowly poisoning them. Then there was the financial ghost. Building a hidden city and a massive industrial weapons complex cost over $2 billion in 1940s money, which equates to over $30 billion today. How do you spend billions of dollars without anyone noticing? The executive branch completely bypassed the U.S. Congress. They funneled money through hidden channels, creating the very first modern black budget. The politicians who were supposed to be overseeing the country's finances had absolutely no idea this money was even missing, setting a dangerous precedent for government secrecy that continues to this day. Today, if you look at a map of Tennessee, Oak Ridge is right there. It's no longer a secret. You can drive through its streets, visit its museums, and look at the old factories. But the legacy of Oak Ridge remains as a chilling, undeniable historical proof. It proved that if a government is determined enough and desperate enough, they can build a civilization of 75,000 people right under your nose, erase it from the face of the earth, and keep it a secret from the very citizens building it. Which leaves us with one final haunting question. If the United States government could completely delete a massive city using primitive 1940s technology, what are they hiding from our maps today with the advanced tech they have now? The secrets didn't stop in 1945 to discover the terrifying top-secret chemical weapons the Pentagon built in complete silence. Next, click on the video right here on your screen and we'll uncover the truth together. See you there.